Welcome to 6 Reviews of Separation, where we put our useless movie knowledge to use for your entertainment. I'm Cody.
And I'm Kenji.
And today we're going to be connecting Jamie Lee Curtis and Will Ferrell.
That's good.
I thought it was an interesting choice. So we already discussed who was going first. I'm going to go first. Yes. And my first one is Jamie Lee Curtis was in Trading Places with Paul Gleason. Released in 1983, rated R, directed by John Landis. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis, Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, and Paul Gleason, among other people. But, again, I keep getting those classic movies that I don't know. It's basically it's Trading Places.
Right.
Is what it is. It's
a great movie.
Yeah, you know, it's basically the two main characters, which are Winthrop and Billy Ray Valentine.
Hey,
Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is pretty much homeless. He's homeless, right?
Homeless dude, yeah.
Because I know he was pretending to be a more sad homeless guy at the beginning when he was blind with no legs. And then the cops lifted up. He's like, my legs!
That's a miracle!
But it takes him and Winthrop, played by Dan Aykroyd, who works for Wall Street people.
Duke and Duke?
Yeah, it's the Duke brothers, which I got their name, Randolph and Mortimer.
Yes.
And they're brothers, and they basically bet each other that they can pretty much have them switch places, kind of like an experiment to see if a person's upbringing affects how they are in their business world.
They bet a grand total of?
$1. So it's pretty much, that's the storyline. They ruin one guy's life, give another guy an awesome life just for $1, which, you know, comes full circle on him and everything. Some of the facts I got about it is that Landis actually directed Beverly Hills Cop 3 and Coming to America. And, like, over the course of that, him and Eddie Murphy became really close friends.
But after that whole
at least until the Twilight Zone killings,
where Vic Morrow and those two kids
got decapitated by a helicopter, by a fucking helicopter. And he ended up he was on manslaughter charges pretty much, wasn't he?
Then he got acquitted.
And he wanted Eddie Murphy to be a character witness, but Eddie Murphy just kind of like, nah, I ain't doing that.
He also directed a Thriller.
It was two kids. Yeah, two kids and one adult were killed, and 6 other people were injured during the Twilight Zone murder case. Yes, I have, and it is pretty bad. It was originally written for Pryor and Wilder, but when Pryor dropped out and Eddie Murphy took over, Eddie Murphy basically told him that they needed to drop Gene Wilder because they didn't want people to think he was still in Richard Pryor's movie buddy. Pretty much, yeah.
Gene Wilder's black guy.
I'll get my own. See, Randolph and Mortimer. I got that they made a cameo in Coming to America as the 2 homeless dudes that Akeem gives all the money to.
He's also in Coming to America too.
Are they?
Because they talked to...
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
His last name is Duke, and there's a picture of his grandpa and his uncle up on the
that's awesome. Yep. That they just like a small cameo as he's passing by. And he like just drops a ton of money on him.
You will do lunch.
I got that. I thought it was interesting because up until this point, Jamie Lee Curtis was mostly known for her horror movie roles because she's a Scream Queen, daughter of the original Scream Queen. But it was weird that I seen that in an interview. She said she never felt exploited in horror films, but as soon as she did a mainstream film like Trading Places, she was told to take her top off.
Right.
Like it didn't happen until she left horror.
Boobs.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen until she left horror that she actually felt like she was being exploited in a movie.
It really brought the movie together.
But yeah, Paul Gleason, he plays Clarence Beeks, which is basically the Duke brothers' kind of right hand man. He does everything for him. The one who
gets raped by the gorilla.
Yeah, yeah. On New Year's, ring in the New Year's with some gorilla.
He's a gorilla. He's a gorilla prison.
That's a T-shirt I want. Ringing the new year with a little gorilla. But yeah, so that's my first one. Is Jamie Lee Curtis was in Trading Places with Paul Gleason.
If we ever have a store, that's gonna be our first T-shirt.
Ringing the new year with a little gorilla.
Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis was in Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen.
I can't believe you went with one of her newer ones.
Well, I like Christmas with the Cranks. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies.
I know, but like one of your
it's March.
But one of your favorite movies that she did was Halloween.
Well, I know. But how many other famous people were in there?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, go on.
Who am I going to connect with?
Go on. Let's get your year rating and plot out of the way.
Christmas with the Cranks was directed by Joe Roth and was released in 2004 with a PG rating. About this guy, Tim Allen, his name's Luther Crank, and his wife, Nora Crank, and their daughter Blair is going away for the first time. So they're like, we'll skip Christmas a year, and everybody has a fucking problem with it.
It's Tim Allen's idea.
Yeah, but still, she goes along with it. She's all excited about it eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Because she always get that tan, and the preacher's there, and
I did not need to see Orange Tim Allen in a Speedo, dude. I didn't need to see it. No, I didn't.
In your life, you needed to see.
They
have Botox. He's trying to eat that fruit.
He's just like, yeah.
Yeah. So they decide they're going to skip Christmas and go on a cruise, and everybody else has a problem with it. And they're getting ready. It's like the day before Christmas Eve, and all of a sudden they get a call from their daughter Blair. She's coming home.
Yeah, and she's bringing home her fiance.
Yeah.
That she just met. Wasn't that like over the span of like 2 weeks or something like that?
No, it was longer than that because she like left when it wasn't Christmas.
Okay.
But yeah, they.
So now they got to scramble to get their house ready. Everything they've been fighting over everybody with.
Dan Aykroyd's Vic Frohmeyer, who's like the head of the
homeowners association. Yeah.
They're trying.
Just let us put Frosty up. Just
give us Frosty, Nora.
We'll put him up ourselves. You don't have to do it.
And so, it's just like the whole thing, is based on a novel by John Grisham called Skipping Christmas.
Yeah.
And I haven't read the book yet, but I want to read it. But the title was changed to Christmas with the Cranks because there was another Christmas movie coming out called Surviving Christmas that year, and they did not want to.
I'm trying to think of what Surviving Christmas is.
I think it was the one with. I can't remember which one it was with.
Exactly. So I feel like they would have been okay just calling it Skipping Christmas.
Right.
But
and when the power goes out, and Vic Frohmeyer, Luther asked Vic, he's like, "Do you know anybody who's down on Con Ed?" Actually, Ghostbusters 2, Dan Aykroyd and the other Ghostbusters impersonated Con Ed.
So they tied it together with the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because they impersonated Con Ed to dig that big hole in the middle of.
Oh yeah, when they were getting the goo and. Yeah. Okay.
Like, what do you build? We didn't think anybody else would notice the big hole in the street. There's so many big holes in the street. Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a good Christmas movie. Because in a world where there's just so many damn Christmas movies.
I actually saw this movie
so
in
many
theaters. I went to movies theaters. I took a date to the movie theater, and you know me, I'm 6'5". This girl was 4'10".
So she sat on your shoulders to watch the movie?
No, it was weird because we were standing in line. Everybody's looking at me like I'm weird, like I'm taking my little sister
to Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, but no, this is my date. So yeah, that's what I got.
I just need someone to lean on.
Yeah.
All right, so is that it?
Curtis was in Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen.
All right. So my second one is Paul Gleason was in The Breakfast Club with Judd Nelson.
Yes.
Released 1985, rated R, which was weird. I was surprised to find that out.
Why?
Because I forgot that there is cussing and then there's the dope smoking scene.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like a rated R movie. It seems like PG-13 at the most.
There was no PG-13 rating at the time.
No, but this is the only one of his high school trilogy movies John Hughes did that was rated R. It's the only one.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like you didn't have PG-13 there. You had PG
PG and then rated R. Yeah. Yeah, because you're either a kid or you're an adult. That's
right.
how it works.
13 in mid.
That's how it works. So I wrote down it's about a bond of students that can happen in detention between a brain and an athlete, and a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. But
which actually on the 24th of this month was like the...
yeah, it was the day that they had detention. Yeah. I seen that online.
March 24th, 1984.
Yep. So that's pretty much what it is. It's just about a bunch of different kids in detention. That's what it is. But yeah, I have that it was his only one of his like high school trilogy movies that were rated R. And then I had to look into why it was rated R. They say fuck 30 times and they smoke weed.
You just asked me why was it rated R?
I know, but it still doesn't seem like it. That's what I'm
in a PG-13.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the movie flows in a way that like you don't even really notice it, and it just doesn't stand out. Like I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out where more than one fuck was in the movie. I was trying to find all the fucks.
I don't give a fuck.
The movie gave zero fucks. All right. So I got the circle scene where they're telling why they're in detention and stuff.
Yeah.
That they had a basic idea of why they were in detention, but John Hughes told them to ad-lib their stories.
Right.
So I would like us to take a moment to appreciate the fact that Emilio Estevez had to ad-lib a story about taping a gentleman's hairy butt cheeks together. That is phenomenal. Judd Nelson gets the sad, hardcore story. Estevez gets hairy butt cheeks.
Yes.
I got that. It's weird that it was shot in sequence, like where most movies aren't normally shot in sequence. They actually shot Breakfast Club.
Pretty much most of the movies.
I know exactly. So yeah, probably. They almost Judd Nelson was almost fired for staying in character off camera and bullying Molly Ringwald.
I got a thing for Molly Ringwald.
I think everybody had a thing for Molly Ringwald. That's why she was in movies.
Very Pretty in Pink. I was like, oh. And 16 Candles.
You ever see For
She's
Keeps?
the reason I have a thing for gingers.
You ever see For Keeps? For Keeps, she gets pregnant.
I didn't see that.
Hughes almost fired Nelson because he was bullying her. And Gleason, who played the principal, actually defended him and basically told everyone to back off. That he was just a good actor staying in character.
Right.
Which I thought was funny that the principal was like, hey, let him be a dick and leave him alone.
But I like, one of my favorite parts is when, like, what the hell is her name? The basket case chick?
Yeah.
She's, like, drawing that picture of winter. She uses her dandruff to...
Yeah, Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese. Yep. And yeah, it's Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy, yeah. She used Parmesan cheese.
They used Parmesan cheese.
But yeah, but still, it was weird.
I know. But at the same time, you're like, that's a good idea. The outfit that Nelson's wearing throughout the movie is actually what he wore to his audition.
Oh.
So that that's what he wore to get into character. And they're like, yep, pretty much. He also went undercover in a Chicago high school at 24 years old and bought students beer.
That's great.
You know why? Because he's Judd Nelson. So yeah, I got Paul Gleason was in Breakfast Club with Judd Nelson.
Tim Allen was in Galaxy Quest with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest is freaking amazing. Galaxy Quest was directed by Dean Parshall and was released in 1999, rated PG. Okay. Basically, the plot is basically, they're washed up actors from an old 80s TV show called Galaxy Quest. It's basically a parody of Star Trek.
It's a parody that turned into something completely on its own.
Yes.
Because they have some hardcore followers.
They do.
The cosplayers are insane.
People cosplay Galaxy Quest,
It's a good movie.
Play
I like it.
and, they do it all.
I love it.
You had... like Tim Allen, he basically plays the...
he's the Shat.
The Shat. Jason Nesmith. And he loves all the attention he gets, but then he overhears somebody in the bathroom talking shit about them.
Yeah.
He gets all upset, you know.
Yeah.
And then the next day, aliens arrive and take him to their world, up to their planet, because they've built their entire society on the historical documents.
Yeah, they found the tapes of Galaxy Quest, and like their ship, the way they dress, like everything about their culture is based around this show.
Yes.
So it'd kind of be like if we started going into space and we landed on a planet with like a bunch of people walking around in red shirts and blue shirts.
Right. And it's even brought up in the movie because they're like. You saw our historical documents. What about Gilligan's Island? And they're like, oh,
those poor people.
Those poor people.
Because their entire race are kind of like adult children.
Right.
It's because even that one dude tells him like he's like explain
lying to him
like
a child.
He's like explain it to him like he's a child.
We lied.
I love that. Yeah, it's good, man.
It's got so many good people in there.
It's got Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman as Alex Jourdain as what? Yeah, he was that alien.
Yeah, he was their Spock.
Yeah,
he was their version of Spock.
Oh yeah.
Like he had his own little sub following.
By Grabthar's hammer. And he hated his actor. He hated that catch line. It's like I bet Leonard Nimoy got pissed off when people told him live long and prosper.
Yeah,
like the whole day. Yeah, but I guess he embraced it eventually.
Yeah, well, they all do eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, they all just give in. They're like, you know what? You guys are the only reason I'm still making money.
and it's pretty much. And it's like
that's why Shatner lets us make fun of him now.
Freaking Shatner. I went to Comic-Con down in Columbus a couple years ago. Were you there with me when we went to see Shatner?
He wasn't there, was he?
Yeah, it was one. I don't know if you were.
I don't know if I went to that one.
We went and seen Shatner, and somebody asked him, "How do you think Star Trek would have went on if they would have got the whole 5 years mission going on?" He said something about it, then he a second later he went on about cross country motorcycle trip he did.
It's like that thing that I did that historically all nerdy people love. Anyways, I like to run.
No, motorcycle.
Oh, motorcycle race.
We had this beautiful one built, blah blah blah. But anyway, the scene where Tim Allen overhears them talking shit about him. That's actually coincided with what happened to Shatner in the '80s.
Well, it makes sense.
He overheard him, and he got real pissed off about it. That's why in the late '80s he wasn't really into being a
guy. Well, be a dick, get treated like a dick. That's just what happens.
Then after when they all get taken up to the spaceship in those gooey pods or whatever, and
they get covered in that. It's like clear. I don't know what. Yeah, it's just clear goo.
Yeah,
and then they get shot through space.
When the Serbians come up to them, they don't have any their cloak devices on. There's those octopus looking.
Yeah, because oh my God, what's his name? Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Tony, he's kind of
wow.
He's like their Scotty, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like their Scotty, which he ended up falling in love with one of those aliens, and that one dude's watching him kiss, and then he starts going down. You see tentacles start flying in there. He's like, oh God, no.
Well, when they're like, all right, who wants a tour? And then Sam Rockwell just screams out of nowhere. Yeah. Nobody knew he was going to do that. So Sigourney Weaver's reaction in the back row is actually real. and he was like, I'm the red shirt. I'm not supposed to come back to the planet soon. And then in the revival, they actually brought him back as the comic relief.
Oh my God.
So
that's fucking hilarious.
And they also had a cameo of young Rainn Wilson in there as one of the aliens.
Did they really?
Yep.
That's cool. So that it?
Yep, so Tim Allen was in Galaxy Quest with Sam Rockwell.
All right. My next one is Judd Nelson was in Airheads with Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
We're just going to call him Brendan from here on out. 1994, PG-13, directed by Michael Lehman.
Dude, this is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's basic.
I used to masturbate constantly.
I was editor of the school magazine. Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. Yeah, it's awesome. It's basically about just a failed band on the
grunge.
Yeah, it's not the grunge
early
scene.
90s grunge.
They actually
metal,
talk shit
whatever.
about grunge music when somebody asks for tickets. I can't remember what band, but he's like, "You actually listen to that Seattle?"
They're just a rock band.
Yeah,
from the early 90s.
Just like basically every other group.
The Lone Rangers. How do you pluralize the Lone Ranger? He's not exactly lone.
There's 3 of you.
So you should be the 3 Rangers? I don't
follow. But it's basically it's Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler in the band.
Yes.
Judd Nelson actually plays one of the producers at
Winkman. What's his name?
Jimmy Wing.
Jimmy Wing.
Palatine Records. Yep. And they pretty much they're told that they can't like do anything with their music because it's unsolicited, so they try to get it played at the local radio station.
Yeah.
And
they
end up breaking in and accidentally kind of taking the place hostage with
they got
squirt guns filled with hot pepper sauce in it.
They actually took those guns off the market because they look too real.
Yeah, because Buscemi's character worked at a toy store.
Yes. brought Adam Sandler home toys like, ooh, the Incredible Crash Dummies. Ooh.
But so they end up taking over the radio station and holding it hostage, trying to force them to get their stuff played on there. Michael McKean in that movie is good too.
Oh yeah, and who played Fraser?
Fraser. What do you mean?
What's his name?
What's his name in the movie?
No.
Chaz.
No, not Brendan Fraser. Michael Richardson's in there.
Yeah, he's the guy in the vent.
Yeah,
because he was in there for a job interview.
No, he worked there.
No, he just stared. No, it was his first day.
No, I remember because he's like, I'm gonna need you around here because there'll be a lot of heads rolling. And he's like, I'm gonna go get a cream or for my
yeah.
He was the lackey.
I thought he was new there. Anyways, he ends up in the vent hiding while they're being like held hostage. Like a SWAT team tries to sneak a gun into him. And he's like trying to hold it out through the vent. He's like, everybody move!
All because that SWAT team's wife was cheating on with a pool cleaner. And
it was Pip. It was Adam Sandler's character. Yeah. Because he owned a pool cleaning service. Yeah. But yeah, so they want to get famous. So they go to a radio station. They accidentally hold it hostage. They end up becoming famous. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the plot of it. Some of the facts I got on here, it's got, Buscemi, Sandler. It's got Farley in it. It's got Michael Richards. This is the vent guy. Michael McKean, which one of the cool things about Michael McKean is when they're going through and they're like grabbing all the CDs off all the shelves and stuff, like when they're trying to play music to the crowd that's outside, they actually pass by oh my God, where is it? I got it on here somewhere. A Spinal Tap poster's hanging up. A Spinal Tap poster is hanging up. So Michael McKean's movie from back in the day.
One of my favorite Michael.
The Lone Ranger song "Degenerated" was by an '80s punk band called Reagan Youth, and White Zombie showed up in the movie instead of Cannibal Corpse because Jim Carrey used them in Ace Ventura because they were his favorite band, and they're like, well, they've already been in a movie, so they put White Zombie in instead. And last thing I got is Chaz was almost casted as John Cusack instead of Brendan Fraser, which would have been weird.
Really weird.
But no, I like it.
Good movie. All right, Sam Rockwell was in Gentlemen Broncos with Jermaine Clement.
I love Gentlemen Broncos.
Gentlemen Broncos was directed by Jared Hess and written by him and his brother. In 2009, rated PG-13. Basically, it's a movie about a boy named Benjamin Purvis. He likes to write sci-fi stories, goes to a writer's camp, and Jermaine Clement's Dr. Chauvier actually steals his story called Yeast Lords, turns it into.
Have you seen this? Oh, you're about to have a blast. It's about to get. No, it's about to get weird. It's about to get weird.
And turns it into a book called Brutus and Balzac. Because
it was about Bronco, but he changed the name to Broncanus,
to Brutus. So then, he's trying to go through. He don't know it till like the very end of the movie that he stole it. So he's going through his life. His mom, she works she tries to design all these nightwear, but it's just like gowns that look freaking weird as hell. makes him go out sell these popcorn balls. He's got this love interest named Tabitha. She's like, when he first meets her, she's like, "Can I borrow $20 and get some tampons?"
Yeah, and
then she comes back to the bus.
Dude, the bus thing, man, the bus thing.
She comes back to the bus with nothing but no. She says, "They didn't have any tampons, so I just got some snacks
and hand lotion
and hand lotion
because she makes them like just give her hand.
Give me a hand massage." And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
And while he's doing that,
her friend Lonnie
eating Doritos.
Or I think it was
something
Doritos.
like that, and leaning in her ear and just like.
His name's Lonnie Donahoe. He has his own movie studio. He just makes trailers and shit and shitty movies.
And they're actually they start working on a movie adaptation of the book he wrote.
Yeah. But Jermaine Clement's character, Dr. Chevalier, actually takes takes Bronco, who's like this butch guy, had long wild hair, a big bushy beard, like kind of butch, turns him into this like super feminine guy with long blonde hair,
with bangs,
a blonde mustache. Yeah. And that's who.
He spoke very flamboyantly.
Yes,
like security does.
No. He's like Cyclops here.
Yeah.
Cyclops there. Oh look, security does. I hate that. But that's who Sam Rockwell plays in there. He plays both versions.
Yeah.
Just like
he plays both.
Whoever wrote it, that's how he acted it out.
Because throughout the movie, you get a little bit of each story, like from the beginning to the end of the book itself, too. Which I really like because I wanted so much, dude. After I watched
Friendship Stone,
that, I ended up like immediately going to the bookstore and looking for sci-fi novels with the weirdest covers you could find.
Well, it's like the character Chevalier.
There are so many.
Yes, the character Chevalier was based on Utah sci-fi writer Dave Farland. He writes under the name Dave Wolverton. He conducts popular novel writing workshops like he did. Like he was in a novel writing workshop. And Yeast Lords take off his popular book series, The Rune Lords. Yeah. And you know how the beginning, it's a Jared Hess movie, so it has like a weird beginning credits. All those artworks were by acclaimed fantasy and science fiction artists Kelly Freias and David Allen Anderson.
That's cool.
Or David Lee Anderson, yeah. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's one of my favorite movies. I got a lot of favorite movies. I can't. The
soundtrack's cool. I really dig the soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's
like the opening credits is 25-25. Yeah, the year 25-25.
Yeah, which if you haven't heard, once you hear like literally 10 seconds, it's stuck in your head for the next 3 goddamn weeks. Like everything you're doing, dishes like in the year 25-25.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good.
All right, so that was
Sam Rockwell was in Gentlemen Broncos with Jermaine Clement.
Flight of the Conchords.
Yes.
All right. My next one is Brendan Fraser was in Bedazzled with Orlando Jones.
Bedazzled? That's like one of the worst remakes ever. I think I made you watch the original Bedazzled.
Yeah. I like it, and I don't give a
with Dudley Moore and...
Yeah. No, there are actually quite a few nods throughout the movie to the original, too.
I know, but it's a bad remake. It's fun, but it's a bad remake.
I like it.
I
like Brendan Fraser though. I think that's what did it. If he wasn't in it, I wouldn't give a fuck. Seeing him play all the characters that he has to play throughout his wishes,
that's the great part.
Is just makes up for it. Anyways, released in 2000, rated PG-13, directed by Harold Ramis. Did not know that.
No.
Did not know that Harold Ramis directed it.
I did not like Elizabeth Hurley as the devil.
No. I liked her in My Favorite Martian. My Favorite Martian, the remake with Christopher Lloyd. That's the only character that she ever seems right playing. Is kind of like a spoiled brat. But so I guess the basic plot of it is like the dimwit in society is offered 7 wishes from the devil because I was reading that he actually had to tone down his hopelessness because during a test audience, like people were like, "Oh God!" Like they didn't like.
He's all clean.
Yeah, he was so cringy that they didn't want to watch him, so they actually had to tone it down. Like, all right, Elliot's a little too sad, which is fucking hilarious. But yeah, Brendan Fraser plays Elliot Richards. Orlando Jones plays one of his coworkers, Dan, like one of the many people that just try to avoid him on a daily basis because he wants to show him 35 Polaroids of his stereo setup. A few facts about it. It's a remake of the '67 one starring Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
Peter Cook was way better than Satan.
Yeah, but it was also...
And I also liked how they put in the 7 deadly sins in there.
Yeah.
Like lust was Glutton's wife.
Yeah.
He's this big fat guy, just all sexy. Yeah, that's his wife.
They actually had a deleted rock star scene that they had to cut because of drug use, language, and sexual content.
Why? They wanted to keep that PG rated?
Yeah, pretty much because basically he walked off stage, took a huge bong rip, and like he spoke with a British accent, and like he's constantly like, you, like you can find the deleted scene. Like they had it on the DVD commentary. Like it was hidden or something like that. Like basically you had to click on a certain area and then a devil would pop up on Hurley's shoulder, so you could watch it. But Allison tried killing herself of an overdose.
Wow. Yeah, it got really dark.
Yeah, so they cut that. Sensitive Elliot's guitar playing when he's doing the Dolphin song was actually Harold Ramis playing guitar, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, Orlando, Edelstein, and Huss played basically 5 different characters throughout because no matter what life he lived, like the people around him were integrated in a different way.
Yeah.
But those 3 guys basically had to play 5 different people or versions of themselves throughout the movie.
Right.
But same with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
He was pretty much like when he does a character, he seems like he really just kind of just throws himself completely fucking into it.
Right.
And I think that we have all forgotten that, and I really want to see Brendan Fraser come back. This is kind of my plea to Brendan Fraser. We miss you. So that's mine. Brendan Fraser was in Bedazzled with Orlando Jones.
All right, Jermaine Clement was in What We Do with the Shadows with Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Now, What We Do in the Shadows is written and directed by both Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi.
And it's very
released
evident.
In 2004. It is definitely a Taika Waititi movie. It's rated R. It's got Jermaine Clement as Vlavistad, the Bulker.
He's the sexy vampire.
It's like, hey, he goes, yes. And then you got Taika Waititi as Viego, and you had Jonathan Bro as Deacon, Ben Frisman as Peter, and Corey Gonzalez Mercer as Nick. It's about it's down in New Zealand. There's a documentary crew documenting the lives of vampires. And
their day-to-day lives in a modern society.
There's 4 of them living in this flat down there in New Zealand, and like it's just like they start getting ready to go out to the clubs, but they can't get into no clubs because nobody can invite them in. So and they can't see each other in the mirror, so they gotta like dress and have everybody like tell them what they look like. So I call this one Dead but Delicious.
And
they only get close when people kill. So there's some of them ripped or have blood on them.
They end up basically having this woman bring friends over for them
Deacon's
to eat.
familiar.
Yeah, he has a familiar. She just brings her friends over for them to eat because they promise that eventually they'll turn her into a vampire and stuff. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a dinner party and they bring. She brings 2 people, a guy and a girl, and they're like, Nick, do you want some biscotti? He goes, try your biscotti. He goes, why are you eating worms? He goes, what? No, there's worms on my plate. He goes, yeah, we got that one from the Lost Boys.
I love it, dude. It's funny.
There was about 125 hours of footage shot
Oh, I believe
to be
it.
whittled down just to 90 minutes.
The way they shot it, though, like, it's literally like they turn the camera on these guys and they're like, this is what you're supposed to show us how this happens.
Yeah.
Like, there's the one, I can't remember, what's the clumsy ones? Which one's the clumsy one?
That's, what do you mean? Oh, Viego?
Yeah, when he's, like, trying to, like,
oh my God, he's seducing this woman to drink her blood, and she said, oh, I want to do all this. I have such a long life ahead of me. He's like, and, like, he bites into her aorta, and it just starts splitting everywhere.
And he's like trying to stop it, and it's kind of like an I Love Lucy chocolate factory scene with blood. It's hilarious. It's like, my God!
If you're gonna eat anybody in that room, lay down paper. He goes, if I'm a vampire, I don't lay down paper before I eat.
But yeah, and Jermaine, his character. Because who his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend?
The Beast.
Yeah, the Beast. Like, the Beast bested him in a battle and it just screwed up his head. So, like, he tries to transform into animals, but it's just an animal with his face.
Yeah.
Like one dude opens the door and there's a cat and he just turns around and he's like,
each of the main characters, they're based on famous vampires through movies.
I like that.
Peter's based on Count Orlok from Nosferatu.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that lives in the basement.
Peter!
And that's why he lives in the basement.
Yeah. Deacon, he's like the young bad boy, kind of, that's what they say. He's like the young bad boy. He's like David from Lost Boys. That's what they're saying that he was based off of. And you had Vladislav, he's based off Gary Oldman's portrayal of Dracula.
Yeah.
And then Nick, well, we hadn't got to Nick yet. Nick was one of the guy at the dinner party who gets turned into a vampire by Peter later.
Yeah, because he didn't.
Yeah, he's a new vampire.
Yeah.
They're all secret about it. He walks through the town going, vampire!
I like it when they meet up with the werewolves.
Oh, there's a werewolf pack down there, and they have an alpha male, and yeah,
it's like a Sharks and Jets kind of bro down.
Yeah,
where they're all just like, huh.
Yeah, I know this guy. That's Count Fila. And the one who smacks him and goes, "Hey, what did we say?" He goes, "We're werewolves, not swearwolves." It's such a good movie. It's great. It's a Taika Waititi movie,
And they got the series too.
Yeah, the series.
Now
a series
too.
Based on third season.
Yeah,
coming out soon, hopefully. But yeah, that's a good one. Right. Jermaine Clement was in What We Do with the Shadows with Taika Waititi.
All right. My next one is Orlando Jones was in. I'm gonna mess up saying this. Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant.
Cirque du Freak.
Yeah, with John C. Reilly.
Horrible.
I know it doesn't follow the books.
I've read all the books.
Horrible. At all. But
some of it does.
Yeah, it's loosely based on the books. Came out in 2009, rated PG-13, directed by Paul Weitz. Plot is about, Josh Hutcherson, who plays Steve, which is kind of like the bad kid of the two friends. Because you got him and Darren, Steve and Darren's like the more reserved one. They basically sneak out to a late night freak show, and Steve recognizes one of the performers as like an ancient vampire. Yeah. So he ends up stealing his the vampire's a spider, pet spider, who ends up biting him, and Darren goes and finds the vampire and says, "Can you save him? I promise, I'll do anything you want." So
then he tastes your blood first.
Yeah, he tastes it. He tastes his blood, make sure he's not evil, and he basically turns him into a vampire to become his assistant. So he has to fake his death and get buried alive, but luckily he has his phone.
Steve gave him a PSP.
Yeah, because he's underground playing it while he's waiting for everyone to leave. But yeah, and then it just turns into your standard group of bad vampires versus group of good vampires, kind of build up to a fight scene. I think the coolest thing that I wanted to talk about was the sideshow performers. Yeah. Because Orlando Jones played Alexander Ribs, which is basically his entire body was concaved in and stuff. and the character Mr. Tall was a tribute to Chang Wu Gao, or Cheng the Chinese giant that traveled with P.T. Barnum in the 1800s, which I thought was really cool.
That's pretty cool.
But I really like I like freak show stuff, so yeah. I got that. It was based on the 12-book series by Darren Shane, which Darren and the main character, he named his main character after himself.
Yep.
But the movie only covers the first 3 books.
Barely.
That's what it says, though. It says that it's supposed to cover the first 3 books.
There's stuff between them all, yeah.
Yeah. But the school extras in the high school were actual students of that high school, which I thought was cool. I like when things do that. My wife's high school in Georgia was used for the high school sets of Vampire Diaries. Yeah, Vampire Diaries. Shut up.
Anything vampire TV related.
You just said one. You just said one.
Shadows.
Anyways,
like Vampire Diaries, True Blood. Clash. Sorry. Fuck that too. Twilight too.
You don't have to like it to think it's interesting, okay?
Yeah, you do. Like, I don't care about that show, and I'm not interested in it.
But yeah, it pretty much builds up to the apex being Darren and Steve fighting.
Yeah, which that don't happen until years later when Steve...
Yes, we know it doesn't follow the books. I said loosely based on the books. Did I not? Anyways.
But you know me, I'm a stickler.
I know, but that's why I wanted to just get past this one.
I don't think Darren Shan had anything to do with the movie. Like, did he help write a screenplay? Because there's some things I can't forgive.
I don't think so.
Because if the original author helps write the screenplay, I'm cool with it. Just like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Douglas Adams helped write a screenplay. And just like Ready Player One, Ernest Cline helped write a screenplay. That was stuff I can forgive.
Okay.
Just saying. I'll get down with my pedestal.
Put your fucking soapbox over there so I can wrap this one up.
Okay.
Orlando Jones was in Cirque du Freak the Vampire's Assistant with John C. Reilly.
I got Taika Waititi was in Avengers Endgame with Paul Rudd.
It's a hell of a leap there, sir.
It's true.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Avengers Endgame was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. It was released in 2019 and rated PG-13. You know, it's the end of the Infinity Saga. You know, pretty much. I thought it was freaking awesome. I got chills when everybody started coming through those portals. I did. I still do. When you know, all of a sudden you hear Sam go, "Cap, on your left," and then you know everybody starts coming through. I still get chills when I see that because I've been through the damn saga.
I've been watching it for years.
Right.
Started with Iron Man 1.
Yes.
And then there were dark times.
There was dark times like the Dark World. Dark World. We don't talk about the dark times. But, you know.
I thought it was a satisfying end. I have no problem.
Well, my favorite part is when Korg, played by Taika Waititi, was playing Fortnite. And, hey, Thor, they're calling me a dickhead again. And then Thor gets on there, new master, 69. This is Thor again. But yeah, it's such a good ending to the Infinity Saga. I mean, you know, spoiler alert: Tony Stark sacrifices himself and dies.
What?
Right? Yeah. You had Captain Marvel in there, which. Captain Marvel pretty much did the same thing she did in Captain Marvel. She just threw herself into a ship. That's all she did.
Isn't that kind of like what Superman does, though, too? He just throws himself into things?
Not really, but have you ever seen Captain Marvel?
No, I haven't.
What?
I haven't.
It's like the end of the movie, she destroyers ships. All she does is go through them. and he runs. And then in this one, all of a sudden the ship stops firing. I'm like, here comes the bitch. and she just crashes through the damn ship. And look, we're saved now.
Look, if you're good at what you do, then do it.
I did
just be the best at what you're doing.
I did enjoy the fact that they had the all women of Marvel's little scene right there. I like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just don't like Captain Marvel.
Just not enjoying the way they're portraying her.
Well, like the movie was set in the early '90s, and then like half the shit she shouldn't know how to do.
What do you mean?
Like hack a phone.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
like, but they did, But yeah, but with going back to Captain Marvel, she actually shot her scenes for this movie before she shot Captain Marvel movie.
Well, it makes sense because they're kind of running the entire thing as one long-ass
the
movie, so everything's being shot out of sequence.
Well, the directors really got together because they wanted her into the movie too.
Yeah.
So they got together. And
they just had to make sure it was worked in a way that
right.
work with their...
And with this movie, actually, Tom Holland actually breaks Tobey Maguire's record playing live-action Spider-Man in movies.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Because
he was in Homecoming, he was in Civil War. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, yeah. All right,
And
so...
it actually the first film to break Titanic's record. Which from what I hear, Titanic might bring it back because they're re-releasing it into the theaters, which I think that's a cop-out.
I mean, I'm not going to watch it in the theaters.
Oh, no, I went and saw it in the theaters when it first came out. And
I saw it in the theaters, I watched it on the 2 VHS tapes that you had to switch in and out.
Well, I saw it in the theaters, and the funny part is, the girls behind me, why did your ship have to sink? Literally, I'm like...
For there to be a movie? If the ship didn't sink, there wouldn't be a movie.
And it's like, move over, Rose. Get your ass and get Jack on the fucking door. But
if he doesn't sacrifice himself, he doesn't die a hero.
Yeah, he didn't die a hero in there. But yeah, that's what I got for Taika Waititi and Avengers Endgame with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd played Ant-Man.
Yeah.
We were with Giant Man,
All right. So is that your last one?
No.
Or no, that's your second last. I'm on my last one. Okay.
You went one less this time.
No, I just went first.
Oh, yeah.
Your player 2 this time.
I'm Luigi.
My last one is John C. Reilly was in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell. Released in 2008, rated R, directed by Adam McKay. You got Reilly and Ferrell as Dale and Brandon. Basically 40-year-old man-children that are forced to be stepbrothers. So that's the full extent of the plot, I think.
That's
like even the build-up to them being able to live on their own and support themselves is immediately reversed when everybody's like, but these guys suck. Dude, oh my God, that's like the first thing I found out was when Will Ferrell is like, I'm going to go upstairs, I'm going to put my nuts on your drum. And he goes up and puts his nuts on his drum. Those prosthetic nuts were, depending on where you look, worth between $10,000 and $20,000.
I want them.
And were presented to Will Ferrell gift wrapped. Which is fucking amazing.
Because that makes you gay, because my drum set's a boy.
Oh, God. And this is the second, at least the second movie I could think of where Will Ferrell had to dress like a Nazi. Because he did it in The Producers as Hans Liebken, and he did it in this when he was dressed like that. John C. Reilly was dressed as a Klansman. And they're
trying to scare away
away buyers of the house because their parents are trying to sell them. I don't think so. Yeah. And John C. Reilly's like, you're going to love it. Everyone recycles.
Because his brother's walking there trying to act all black. Look, that's tight. That's fresh.
And speaking of him and his brother, Will Ferrell's singing was real, but his brother Derek's, when they're in the car, was not. So no, he cannot sing high like this.
He was such a dick.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, when is it? It's John C. Reilly, isn't that punches him in the face when he's like up in their treehouse?
He goes, you want to punch me, don't you? Well, do it.
And then he
punch me in the face.
And then he falls. He's like, you know what's good for falling? If you lick my butthole.
And then later on, his wife is like, I heard you hit Derek in the face. I will think about that while I pleasure myself tonight.
So the wardrobe lady says the hardest thing about doing their wardrobe is basically to make them look like man-children and not hipsters. Because of all, like, their vintage shirts that they wore and stuff.
I'll have you $20 for pizza. What if I want wings?
Dude, it's not enough! Oh, shit. They almost actually released a rap album. Like, they actually they had a full rap album planned where they got gotten in contact with Katy Perry and Rihanna to work on it with them.
Oh, God.
But because of scheduling conflicts, of course, we didn't get it. And my last fact that I found about it, which I think is appropriate, is the white dog shit was powdered donuts. So we all know. What did they use to make white dog shit? Powdered donuts. I think the movie's so fucking quotable. Oh, it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. Pa! But yeah, and it wasn't shot in Catalina because they went there to look at it and they didn't like the way it looked.
Not Catalina enough for the Catalina wine mixer.
But yeah, so that's my last one. Is John C. Reilly was in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell.
All right. All right, my last one is Paul Rudd was an Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy with Will Ferrell. Anchorman was directed by Adam McKay and was released in 2004 with a PG-13 rating. Which, you don't think it'd be PG-13. Well, I don't really cuss in it.
The thing is like, I thought about that because I've seen that. And I think it's because I mostly watch the unrated version.
Probably.
Like, I've probably only seen the theatrical, like, the normal release maybe one time.
Right, in theaters. I went and saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
But, Will Ferrell plays Ron Burgundy, this San Diego local news anchor.
San Diego.
San Diego.
A whale's vagina.
She goes, I don't think that... agree to disagree. But, he has his news team, You had Paul Rudd as Brian Fantana, Steve Carell, the weather guy, as Brick Tamlin, David Crocher as Champ Kind, the sports guy. It's just they're comic gold. Wham! Brick like
we should get an apartment together.
Brick Tamlin's like in years from now, I'll be what they know as mentally retarded and have an IQ of 40.
Oh my God! It was at the end of the first one where it said he went on to work for the Bush administration. But the first time they actually show him his break, he's putting mayonnaise in a toaster
and smelling it.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So they have they're bringing in a woman into the mix, and everybody starts making fun of him for it, and so he has to basically the whole movie's him versus her, and then they become lovers and they hate each other, and it's just comedic gold. You have the rival news station led by Vince Vaughn, Wes Mantooth, when Champ's like, I will take Dorothy Mantooth out for a nice seafood dinner and never call her again.
My mother was a saint.
Dorothy Mantooth, she's a saint. But it's very quotable. Like the whole rumble with all the news. Like when Ben Stiller comes, he's like, "Cómo estás, bitches?" Spanish language news.
I like when he walks out and he's like, all right, let's lay down some ground rules. Rule 1, no punching in the face.
Like, oh yeah, let's go.
Of course. And that's it. Let's do this. Brick's just walking around with a hand grenade just,
Like, Brick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
It was when they're after the fight and they're hanging out in the office, wow, that really got out of hand.
I killed him with a trident.
I saw that. Brick killed a guy. I was meaning talking about that. You may want to lie low for a little bit because I'm pretty sure you're wanted for manslaughter.
Oh man, the Mexican restaurant where Veronica and all the girls go to talk. When they say, if you put anything on that prompter, he will read it.
Yeah.
It was named Espamos en su alimento, which roughly translates, we spit in the food.
That's awesome.
You know, and it's like,
oh my god, dude, that scene though, when they actually do that, like when he's like, "Go f yourself, San Diego."
that was a good one. That was a good one, dude.
Real good, real good.
So many of the actors and actors were really good at improv. So like they did like 20 takes of each scene. And I've actually seen the movie. It's like they had like a recut of the movie with extra like all the alternate scenes. It's a totally different plot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What's the?
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Anchorman something.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That's awesome. Yes. Well, dude, when that movie came out, like like especially since then, it's gained such a cult following. Oh, yeah. It's so funny, man.
Like Anchorman 2, I love it.
The Morning Delight music video.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, that's my last one. Paul Rudd was in Anchorman with Will Ferrell.
All right. So I want to go ahead and give a rundown of our lists.
Yep.
All right, I'll go first. Mine was Jamie Lee Curtis was in Trading Places with Paul Gleason. Paul Gleason was in Breakfast Club with Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson was in Airheads with Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser was in Bedazzled with Orlando Jones. Orlando Jones was in Cirque du Freak, the Vampire's Assistant with John C. Reilly. And John C. Reilly was in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell.
All right, mine was Jamie Lee Curtis was in Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen. Tim Allen was in Galaxy Quest with Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell was in Gentlemen Broncos with Jermaine Clement. Jermaine Clement was in What We Do with the Shadows with Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi was in Avengers Endgame with Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd was in Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy with Will Ferrell.
All right, that's our show for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Send a comment somewhere. Let us know whose lineup you like the most. And don't forget to also give your suggestions for the next two actors that we use. We'll see you next time.